The other thing I think is also helpful for people to understand is that, um, like you had mentioned, Lisa, that you're sleeping a lot. Well, I had somebody email me, and say, I just needed to email and ask you this, touch base with this. I keep waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning, every night. I've tried sleeping pills. I've tried this. I've tried that. It's ridiculous. I don't understand. And I said, yeah, you're doing great. And I gave him some conversation and some thoughts about that, what's going on. And then there are certain parts where the sleeping a lot has to do with integrating. So you're doing a tremendous amount of work. You're cleaning and clearing. You're integrating stuff. You're also doing other things, but your body is doing that when it's laying down sleeping.
Yeah.
So when there are times when you'll get where you're waking up, you'll just be sound asleep and you'll just pop right up and be awake, and it might last for a half an hour and a half, and then you can go back to sleep. And part of it is because you need you to be awake to then shift. You've done a tremendous amount of integration of stuff, and now you need to be in a awake so that more energy can flow into you and taking it in. So fretting about it and getting annoyed with it and taking sleeping pills and all that kind of stuff just makes it all harder, and you actually kind of bottle it up, bollocks it up. And so now the next night or whatever it is you've got it. So as best you can, just laugh and say, okay, this is what I'm doing now. And maybe maybe you can color so that you're awake. You're letting that energy flow. It's a way to help. I mean, there's lots of different things that you can do with it. Think about different things, but try not to let them be reaching for, a sleeping pill or whatever it is. And you could go consult your doctor and see how that works for you. But that, and there'll be times when you'll go a couple weeks and you'll be sleeping. And then you'll go when you're, sleeping, awake. And yep.
Well, the biggest thing I'm getting for myself through all of this at this moment is to stop, because I have been in, it's like I added more stress because I was angry at myself for, what the hell have you been doing? Where have you been going? What? It's
that's all ego based.
Say what?
It's all ego based.
Well, and I'm
not
aware.
Only your ego, it's societal ego. It's your familial ego. It's got layers and layers upon layers because, right? If you're not doing something, you're not a productive member of society. And
right.
Jesus criminy, you don't sleep all the time, or you should be doing stuff that we can see that you should be doing. And that's the other thing we think is a valid thing to do. Well, you actually are doing a lot, because not only you, Sheila, and you, Lisa, but all the other yous are not only shifting and changing your entire being to a whole new being, but as your transmitters, right? You're changing that. You're doing the same for other beings on the planet and in all, the planet and beyond. And you're actually making, because you both are very focused, very committed to that, and there's many like you, right? That, and all of us, different levels and layers, because people have gone through different, they're holding predominant frequency vibrations, and they're all slightly different depending on, where you are and what neighborhoods in that energy that you're working on. So that's a tremendous amount that you're doing. I mean, if you were to write down and kind of categorize in a executive summary about what exactly is occurring, what you're doing, people would go, whoa. But since most people don't understand it, since most people are choosing not to understand it because they can feel it within them, because they have different changes going on within their body. This is not happening in isolation. It's not just, a couple million people, or more on the, many millions of people on the planet who are a little nutso, and the rest are, saying no. It's probably the other way around would be a more accurate way to look at it.
Mm-hmm.
So giving yourself a break, give yourself a break and get giddy with the expansion. I think that's the way to do it.
Me too.
I have felt better just since this afternoon, since I realized what I was doing, and that I was sitting in judgment of myself and stressing myself out and feeling like I should be doing something other than, because I swear at one point today I got a little aggravated with myself and said, this is the equivalent of navel gazing. What the hell am I doing? Because I can't point to anything I've done all damn day. And I know that's an old paradigm construct. I know that it is. And so it was like the minute I began to cut myself some slack and figured out what I was going to do on something else that was stressing me, the whole thumbnails for my YouTube videos and figuring out what I was going to do with that and letting that go. It just seemed like, I don't know, I started feeling better. I'm not quite where I'd like to be on that, but.
Well, so here's a couple things on that. On the one hand, going through that is very stressful and painful and frustrating, maddening and annoying. It's also very helpful, very expansive, because that stuff is still in you, so it's got to come out.
Right.
It's a tube of toothpaste moment, and you've got to squish it out. So, when you feel something like that coming in, that would be a time to really play with it, to really go off. You might even play. I mean, I know I did this sometimes. I would record my playing with it. I would go off on my navel gazing, because I was brought up with that, your best was never good enough. You hear the phrase, I'll do the best I can. Well, I used to marvel when people would say that. Really? You can do that? Because that was not the way that I was brought up. That's just not good enough. The best you can, not good. You got to do more. So what I'm saying is play in it. And what I used to do is I would go on an absolutely delicious playing with, what the hell have you been doing? And, as you said, navel gazing, I didn't use that phrase, but, you're staring at the wall, or you're watching the dust grow on the windowsill, kind of a thing. And I would record it, and I would have 5 minutes where I would be, talking with my hands, jumping up and down. I mean, I'm a former nerd. I would get into it, baby. And then I would take a deep breath. I might put my head under the water. I might step outside, whatever it was. And then I would hit the play button. I used to have to do it with my computer. I didn't have an iPhone. I would turn on the computer to record, and I'd play it back. And then I'd spend the next 5 minutes laughing, because I could really see the ridiculousness of it, and I could so that was my integration phase. That was, get it out, move it through. It moved the energy. That's the other thing. All of this is energy, and when we get stuck on it, it sticks in us, and you gave voice to, at least it will go into a part of your body, and then it's like, wow, because you can feel it. So, and you're not imagining it then.
No,